I didn't want to do it, gave me every reason. I didn't want to do it, but I felt bad because somebody's asking me a question and I want to finish answering it before I fucking leave. Okay, so the question was, when did you meet your husband? I said I was 19. We met in undergrad. He was older than me. We didn't date. I wasn't interested in him. Life went on. We both went on to different grad schools and we started dating. We stayed in touch and then we started dating while we were both in different grad school programs. Okay. So that's the first part of that question. And the second part was, when did you decide to settle down? Because it's something that I guess she's thinking about doing. Okay. I mean, I don't really know what settling down. I mean, how do you go about deciding to do that? You know, um, one of the things that I see women doing a lot on here is asking, like, how do you go about asking him this or that, or, um, you know, I mean, I've always been very upfront about who I am, um, because I've had to be. Um, I grew up very poor around predominantly very wealthy people of a different race. You know what I'm saying? My whole life. So I've had to be upfront with others and myself about where I'm coming from, literally, figuratively, financially. I've always had to be honest about that. And that's why I was thinking about. Yes, it was Buzz Talk. Thank you for coming back. Sorry about that. My live stream was sabotaged by the United States government. No. I think that we can't have our computers on at the same time. Maybe that's something that happened. So hopefully it won't happen again. But yeah, anyways, what was I saying? Fuck, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so what was I saying? Wow. I just asked him, I said, what was I talking about? He said, you were talking about you weren't interested in me. Whatever. He can't stand the retelling of the story, but it is what it is. You see what I'm saying? What we're not going to do is revisionist history. That's what we're not going to do. He likes to do revisionist history where, like, we both kind of had feelings for each other when we were in undergrad. No, I did not. All right. And to be honest, I looking at guys that were in the same field as him? Yes, I was. But I was also doing the whole thing that girls do for the longest time where I was like, potential, right? It is what it is. Right. You know what I'm saying? Buzz Hog, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're not about to revision, you know what I'm saying, do this shit over and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I like it much more better this way, anyways, because this is how it happened. Um, just saying, and I point out that he was a nerd and I wasn't interested in him so that I can point out that, that could have been an opportunity that I missed completely because I had that mindset, right? He's a nerd, I don't know. I don't, I don't know exactly what it feels like again to think that way, as a younger person, but it's like a, social status, social standing, like amongst friends is important, you know, and, you're always cognizant of what people are going to think. Not only was he nerdy, but of course he was also of a different race, which, like, I've never had a problem with, being around people of other ethnicities, of the races. I'm very used to it. Like I said, that's how I grew up. I went to school at PWIs. But as I got older, I became more aware of how hyper visible, older people of different races are when they're together, period. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have to even be dating. But if you see an older white person and an older black person, you're like, what's going on there? Asian person and a black person, what's going on there? You know, I see the videos of it's a black woman and her Asian husband, and she said people stare at us all the time. And you know, I can only imagine. I can only imagine, you know, how much they must get stared at, you know, because they stare at Ken and I all the time. And, you know, my thing is like, I've been with this man for a third of my life at this point, a third of my life. What in the fuck are you staring at? You know, um, we're not going to change how we're doing things over here because you don't get it. What don't you get? You know, and I think that Americans need to be more honest with themselves about, you know, their ingrained biases, um, when it comes to interacting with people of different races and ethnicities. Yeah, absolutely, Buzzhawk. You know, one thing that I feel has been made very clear to me from people's reactions to seeing me with my husband is that y'all don't really want y'all kids to be in school with people of different races. Clearly, like you must not want your kids to go to school with people of different races. Because if you are okay with that, when did you have the conversation with them that, but you better not date them, or you know what I'm saying? Like everyone's having that conversation because it's in the media, you know, how to treat black women and how to see black women, you know, is in the media. If you know nothing about black women, the media will teach you how to interact with them, right? And I know when I was, you know, younger, I definitely felt like white guys were trying to, you know, interact with me on the low low. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to do that whole like let's hook up, but like nobody knows. I mean, it didn't work. It didn't work, you know. But that's what I felt like was like the gist or the vibe that I was getting, you know. And you know, when I was younger, I was a lot more abrasive. You know, and black block suburban men would tell me all the time, like, you're not the type of black girl that white guys like are into. You're not. Because to them, they were like the type of, and this is where I feel like what I have to say on this shit gets pretty important, right? Because it's not the suburban block girls that are watching these videos for the most part. I know a lot of women will be like, you know, my daddy raised me, or we had a nice house, that's great. But you know, a suburban block girl is someone that, you know, does equestrian, you know, she might do some fencing, you know, she knows how to swim. Suburban block girls know how to swim. You know what I'm saying? They go on vacation, their family go on vacations and shit, you know. And they do things like on par with white people, right? And so they're not really trying to figure out how to date them because they know how to date them. They know how to behave and what to do, right? So I feel like it's women who come from backgrounds more similar to mine, right? Where, you know, times was tough and, you know, things was rough and you know, the hood. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so like how do we interact with whiteness? You know, I've always found um you know, that there's definitely a role to play. You know what I'm saying? And I know I've heard other black women be like, I'm not dating white men because I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna act and pretend. And you know, um, when I was younger, I was like, why would you have to act or pretend? Because I didn't realize that I was acting and pretending, but I absolutely was. That's why I try to express in these videos all the time that, like, I'm a reformed, what I'm saying? Reformed. Reformed. I had to decolonize my mind, Craig. Stimulate your mind. I had to decolonize my mind, and I did that shit on my own. And, you're not willing to do the work. You're not doing the work. So, anyways, I function a little bit differently because I'm not trying to please whiteness in general. Like, that's not my goal. I'm also not trying to please blackness because, like I said, wasn't none of y'all niggas there for me. I grew up in foster care. That takes an incredible amount of, like, nobody being there isness to wind up in that situation. So for as many years as I was. So I don't move in a way to perform for these groups of people, right? So then how would you get with a white guy or whatever? I don't know how to tell you how to get with any particular kind of guy. I will say I find, going to PWI is where I learned what I had to do. Like, I mean, it's no surprise. White people like to feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? When, like, black people are around them, they like to know, like, you're not going to make me feel uncomfortable. And that's your job. It's not their job to, like, figure out what's going on within them that they would demand that someone literally behave and perform a certain way to be in their presence. But that is one of their ingrained biases that they don't realize that they're doing, allegedly, I guess. They're so enlightened about so many things, but when it comes to race with black people, all of a sudden it's like, I don't know. You just don't give a fuck, is how I personally feel about it. And that's a collective problem over there. Yeah, what are you talking about, Theodore? Theodore 24. Are you automatically a racist if you want to do what? Um, when it comes to the word racist and racism, we got to get over that. That's a trigger word. It doesn't mean much. It really doesn't. Because at the end of the day, the problematic behavior of racism, call it, you know what I'm saying? Call it apples. Are you okay with being apples? Are you okay with being moist? Are you okay with, think of the worst word you can, you know what I'm saying? Who cares about the word? It's all of the problems that are within that word. If a group of people are telling you you're treating us like less, you can't just constantly tell them, no, we're not. For like the rest of, I mean, that shit might have worked. It's not working anymore, you know? And what is the topic of this video about? From intimidating to Italy, okay? Let's stay on topic. I want to talk about, like, why women who come from backgrounds and, this, any ethnicity, any race, if if your family had to struggle, if you had a harder, rougher upbringing, right? Or, okay, people would tell me, right, you're intimidating, right? Like, guys wouldn't ask me out. So what I was perceiving for many years is guys are not asking me out, right? I watched a lot. I watched, almost every season of Dawson's Creek except for that it was like season 7 when they were like in college. It was weird. I was like, what the hell's going on? Anyways, I was like, I know y'all supposed to be asking me out properly, proper. I want to be asked out proper, proper. Um, Racial biases are deeply ingrained. People develop them early on, like 5 years old. Exactly. I mean, it's like, listen, Jane Elliott told me this shit. Shit, that's a white woman. What do you want me to do? I'm, this is old news, and I can't help that people want to keep telling themselves shit from the past. White and black people want to tell themselves shit from the past so to make their day a little easier. I don't care what you call it. There's an oppression and a disenfranchisement actively occurring. you know um so what does it mean? What is it meant when people are saying to a woman, you're intimidating? Right? I was like, I don't get it. Like, I bust jokes all the time. I feel like I make people laugh. I'm not like, rolling up on people, like deboing people. Like, I don't get why I'm constantly told that I'm intimidating. And I mean, you know, I feel like once I figured out what it was, then I'm like, oh, everyone must know. But maybe you don't know. So I'm going to share with you what I've learned about why people say certain women are intimidating and how you can go from intimidating to Italy. Okay? Because that's what happened to me. Okay. So, basically, if you don't understand like what men want, people are going to tell you you're intimidating. And feel free to ask any questions you might have along the way. If you don't know what men want, people are going to tell you that you're intimidating, and you could be like, "Well, men are different." Okay, okay, yeah, sure. Assume they're different. One thing they all have in common is, all right, men like to feel validated. And that's why sometimes you'll see, like, maybe you'll see a very attractive man with a not so attractive woman. And you're like, I don't get it. I don't get it. He could have anyone, right? Why does he want her? Right? That's what they did to Usher. Usher. That's what they did to his wife, one of his wives. And a lot of the times that is because, one, they're using the woman for her financial resources. Or two, okay, she's giving him something he can feel, right? She's giving him something that other women haven't figured out is what he needs, which is probably just a lot of fucking ass kissing. Men like to go from, especially men, you have to keep in mind, we were talking about in the previous video, the difference between men like Tom Cruise and men like Justin Bieber. Men who are focused and on a path and determined, and men like Justin Bieber who are just born talented and are passionate, right? The differences between these men. And there's a bunch of men in between. And, who would make the more suitable, better partner, right? It depends on who you are and what you're looking for. Because a man like Tom Cruise is gonna be controlling, right? Like, why would you get with Tom Cruise and be like, I feel like you keep me on a schedule, Tom? The man's whole life is on a schedule, right? I'm sure when you were dating and you guys were talking, can we get some likes in the room? Please get some likes. Okay. I know it's only a few of you, but give me something. Okay. So, you see what I'm saying? Men are not as surprising as people want to make them out to be. You can figure them out. So if a guy is very fit, for example, he's usually, if he's fit and does anything else in life, Fyodor, you didn't ask the first question. Oh man, here we go again. Who cares about Tom Cruise? There's a lot of other cool things to discuss. Fyodor, feel free to post what you think I should be discussing right now with my time. And when you do it, Fyodor, drop something in the super chat. Because, see, that's what I'm talking about. Fyodor, you sound like the kind of guy that a woman should not fuck with. I'm sorry, but it's the truth, right? Guys that like to just be like trying to tell you what to do and shit. I'm not used to that shit. As you guys can see, if I don't know if you've been in the room with me before, Fyodor. Right. See, now you're trying to be nice. Don't do it. Don't do it. You see what I'm saying? This is why I went from intimidating to Italy. But guess what? I came back from Italy and went right back to intimidating. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. That's my right. Okay. Listen. Ashley Graham and her husband are in the news right now, right? Because they were in Italy, right? And apparently her husband, a black man, Ashley Graham, I believe that's her name, is a plus size white model. Plus size. She's a whatever, she's a white woman who's a plus size model. Her husband is a black man. Why this is important? Her husband was spat on in Italy. Terrible. Terrible. I had a waiter in Italy that I felt like was being a little bit racist to me because I was by myself. I wasn't with my husband. I went down to get breakfast early one morning by myself, and he's like, "What room are you in? What room are you in?" I was like, "I'm in the executive suite, sir. Why aren't you asking anybody else that question?" So of course, I immediately went up and got my husband. My husband let him know what was what. And we talked to management and, free bottles of Prosecco or whatever. But the more point was that I will not tolerate acts of racism. Like if you're gonna be racist, I'm gonna call it out. Because here we are. Here we are. You want to be racist, I'm gonna call it out. And whenever you do, people are gonna, they're gonna try to sidetrack it. But I had a great time in Italy, besides a few instances of, where I felt like people were being racist. And at that time, I still wasn't, this was 2016. I still wasn't mentally prepared for dealing with encounters with racism. I do feel like I'm much more prepared now because, goddamn, you spend your whole life PWI, married to a white man. I mean, he's no problem, but his family, you know. Um, you learn if you're in the, if you work for a nonprofit, if you work for a corporate, you learn how to just, deal with racism. But the thing is, I don't deal with racism in a way that's like, huh, oh, okay, I'm absolutely going to call it out. And, you know, if so, I'll see you at the next job location. Like, I don't care. I'm absolutely going to call it out. Like I said, in Italy, there was a waiter that he was racist because he asked me what room was I staying in. He didn't ask anyone else that was eating breakfast in the hotel. I said, do people just wander in to have your shitty breakfast? I really don't get it. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? I was like, you know what? We're gonna handle it. And my husband came down and he let him know, cussed him out the way white people cuss people out. Um um that's a good point. Tom Leach. A lot of people will, like, for example, people will tell Black people, that's the real racism. Like, if Black person brings up race, people say that's the real racism. Well, Black people cannot be racist because we don't possess the power in society to change anything about how anyone else's life functions or works, because we're the oppressed group, and that's globally. So Black people are oppressed globally. So racism against Black people is global. That's why I feel like those are instances of racism, and I don't use the word lightly. I really don't. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? That's what white people can't understand. If I'm interacting with many white people in a day, someone is going to be racist. Someone is going to be racist from ingrained bias, whether they realize it or not, and whether they did it intentionally or not, right? Someone is going to say something that is rude as fuck and is based on prejudice and racism, right? To me. And that could be a white person or a person from a different ethnic group as well. Anti-Blackness is global, exactly. All right, you guys, don't fight too much in the chat there now. Stay on topic. Theodore24 wants us to talk about something, but he still hasn't told me what that is. Theodore24? Okay, I know you want to talk about relationships. Okay, so back to how to move from being intimidating to getting to Italy. Then you can go back to being intimidating. Okay. I had a friend once tell me, like, somebody told me that, like, if I wanted to get like a man, she told me, like, girl, you better get a wig and put some makeup on. And she, she was like, that's preposterous, and she kept it moving, and that's not what she does. That's a start. That's a start. Men like long hair. Men like long flowing hair. I mean, you just look at, like, what do men like, right? Presenting yourself well. You don't have to wear makeup. You don't have to wear jewelry, I'm going to be honest. I've seen a lot of pictures and videos of people being like leveled up, and they're in the club or they're in a space, where there's a bunch of white people, white men or whatever, and they're like leveled up, leveled up. I'm in the space with them, but you're not talking to none of them. By you being a Black woman, they automatically think that you're going to be the aggressive one. Now, if you talk like this, and if you behave very demurely, I'm sure maybe they wouldn't think that, But if you're someone like me, right? If you're someone that people are like, you are intimidating, right? Because I'm like, doing the clapping and right? He's going to assume, well, a woman like that, is going to definitely take charge. Why? Because their women take charge. So what I was waiting for, what I had learned from Dawson's Creek about guys asking me out, that was a fairy tale. What I learned from romance comedies. You remember all those goddamn romance comedies they had in the 90s? Where are the romance comedies? Now all of a sudden, y'all want to do a bunch of superhero movies? But where were those damn movies when I was coming up? No, it was a bunch of fucking Meg Ryan, fucking Julia Roberts, Sandra Bullock, romantic comedies, telling me that some guy was going to fucking drink a potion to fall in love with me, chase me all around the goddamn planet. That's what I was waiting for. Y'all not even being indoctrinated that way today. Now it's superhero movies. Women are saving the world, and women don't need anything. Where were those movies when I was coming up? See, I be getting in my feelings. Okay? Because I believed that shit. So if you're like me and you believe some of that shit, listen up. Okay? I feel like if you're a Black woman, you want to date a white guy or a guy of a different race, whatever, they expect you, and people are telling you that you're intimidating, right? So I don't want people to be like, that's not true because blah 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 blah. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about women that are told they are intimidating, right? You got to tone that shit down. You got to change everything about who you are. What does Shira 7 say? Lie, lie, lie. Yes. Okay. Absolutely, Sam Bliss. So, goddamn, Daquan. Fairy tale. He said a good Black man is a fairy tale. Whoa. I don't think that's true. I just saw a channel by a Black guy. His last name is Honor. It's like the Honor family. I think his name is like Leonard or something. And all of his videos are talking about, just manhood in the Black community and what Black men need to do. And his motto is Black men need to serve and protect their women. That's what he says that we as Black men, we are here to do, because that's what men do for their women. What a great fucking message. He's a father. He's got 5 kids. He's married to his wife, mother of all of his children. You know what I'm saying? That's a good man. And he saw the need for that message in this space, and he delivered. And I think that's awesome. So definitely follow him if you aren't following him already. Also, I hate to be like, my brother and my daddy. Definitely not my daddy. Okay. But, my brother is a great guy, Black men are having it hard right now from their women. That's what I will say. Your women are tired and they've had enough. They've had enough. And I salute them. I'm here for it. I am one of them. I'm here with it, Serve and protect. That sounds like the slogan for the police. I know, Buzz Hawk. And I was like, wow, that's so great, Keep working on it, Theodore. Keep working on it. Tom Leach, what's a trade con? That kind of trade con family structure is great. Absolutely. There's definitely got to be balance. And like I said, going from intimidating to Italy, it's gonna cost you. Okay. And for me, I felt like the reason that I felt like I could be genuine in that transition and going from intimidating to my well-deserved 3-week vacation in Italy. Okay. Fucking paradise. Yes, he did. He said he getting chocolate and he got it. You know what I'm saying? To the victor goes the spoils. I'm playing Mortal Kombat and Tekken right now, and what does he say in Tekken? Tekken says, the only thing that matters in a fight is who's left standing. That's the only thing that matters in a fight, is who's left standing. And so, if you lost, get up. That's one of the things I love about boxing. Like I said, I hurt myself boxing. Okay. That's one of the things I love about boxing is you learn how to fight through the fucking soreness, the tiredness. You learn how to keep pushing through it. And no, you can't ask me out, Fyodor. I'm married, but thank you. Um, all Black people, right, have to stop living in a state of, I saw recently, we jumping all over the place. It's fine. It's fine. Stay with me. Stay with me. I already lost somebody. No, don't go. All right. Anyways, I saw recently what happened with Cuba Gooding Jr. and LeVar LeVar Ball. Oh my, that's too many A's, bro. Too many A's. Okay. I think like named all his kids like blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Anyways, I saw what happened to Cuba and LeVar recently, right? See, that's what happens when you think, oh, it won't happen to me. When systems don't work so that a bunch of you never get to experience this shit. That's not how systems work. You know? No, I don't know what happened in the Cuba Gooding Jr. case. I saw the video from TMZ, but they're only going to show you what they want you to see. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I feel like, why would you lie about that? So it's just bizarre. LeVar Ball? Did y'all see what happened to LeVar Ball? Wait till I tell my husband this. He's sitting here right now. LeVar Ball, okay, is a commentator on ESPN, okay? A white woman is one of the like anchors, and she's talking to him, right? He's like on site somewhere, okay? And she's like, let me switch gears with you for a moment, right? And he was like, you can switch gears with me anytime you like. That's what he said. And she's like, whoa, LeVar, let's focus. What? And then she's like, I want an apology. And they fired him. They fired him because she was a little uncomfortable. Now, had he been working that entire time also to make sure that, systematic racism wasn't the norm in this country, then he wouldn't feel like such a victim of it. You see? Once again, I said it before, I'll say it again. These people only want to bring up race issues when it's time to sell something or when they've been wronged. That's it. But I talk about it a lot. And no, people are like, why do you talk about it? Clearly it's not happening to you. Clearly it never happens to you. Yeah, it does happen to me. Does it happen all the time? No. Why do I talk about it? Because it's an issue that needs to be talked about. If people were talking about it all the time, I wouldn't talk about it. There's a lot of stuff that I would love to talk about. And I go online and I see people are talking about it. So I don't talk about it. That's facts. I don't see people talking about anti-Black racism in a constructive way. In a serious way. This is serious shit. People, racism affects the quality of life. This is why reparations are important, right? Quality of life has been impacted. Absolutely. Denying racism is a norm in America, and it's not right. And, Black people have been left at the bottom because of it, left. And they're determined to just leave you there. Everybody at this point, they're like, you did it, you served your purpose, you played the mule, we used you up, and we're done with you. You know, I noticed during election times when Black people are talking about Black issues, oh, the candidates, they, they dismiss it like, God damn, like, get that shit out of here. Nobody even cares, right? On to the trending topics that are making us richer. As if anti-Black racism isn't still a serious problem in this country when it is. Don't talk to me about what's going on over here, what's going on over there, when I see what's going on right here. And I'm going to do a different video on this, but this is why I said follow me on Twitter, Danny Steele on Twitter. Okay, I said that ADOS, whether you identify with the political movement or me, I mostly just identify with the term itself. I am, an American descendant of chattel slavery, right? So, that term remains. That's why I call us the descendants, right? Because we are descendants of chattel slavery in America. I don't think that white men and Black men get treated the same. No, they don't. We're not going to pretend that. We're not going to pretend that. Now, if I was a Black man, I'd have an immense problem with that. And I wouldn't be trying to be passive aggressive to Black women about their hair or who they date. I would just be working as a man to make sure that when I move in spaces and when my family moves in spaces and when my women move in spaces and when my children move in spaces and when my people move in spaces, we're treated with equality and equity and respect. That's what I'll be focusing on. If I were a boy, if I was a Black man. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that the shit is unfair, right? You don't just sit up there and be like, oh, this shit is unfair. Oh wow, right? You do something about it. When shit's unfair, you do something about it. And that's not deflecting or turning on people that picking on people that you're bigger than. It's like, really pick on somebody your own size. I mean, as someone said earlier, right? The difference between prejudice and racism, right? A lot of people can be prejudiced, including Black people. Black people can be prejudiced, but it don't mean shit when they are. That's why it can't be racism. You see, when white people practice their prejudice against Black people, that equals redlining, that equals discrimination in jobs and in schools, and those are the facts. So, you're dealing with facts. Okay, so intimidating to Italy. I'm gonna keep jumping on topic, but keep asking questions in the comments. That's awesome too. In the chat. Okay. The reason why I feel like it was a very natural progress for me to go from intimidating to Italy was because I never been in love. I never, given love a try. I never had a boyfriend at that point. And so I said, let me try doing things differently. Right. And so at this point, I was 24 years old. So, fairly old in the game to like never have had a boyfriend. Right. My husband is also my first boyfriend. Okay. So I decided to let go and undo. And this was something that I actually learned in theater training, the undoing, right? We're not naturally angry. We're not naturally, right, jumpy or hostile or defensive, right? We don't naturally, stand like this or, you know what I'm saying? Um, we don't naturally breathe from up here. We naturally breathe from our diaphragms, right? And so you have to go back to what is natural. And what is natural is you're a happy, free, fun, loving person. And life got in the way and made you do differently. But because I vetted the fuck out of my husband and I trusted him and I trusted myself. And let me tell you something. It's still it don't be perfect after all of that. There's not going to be no perfection. Okay. I think if you listen to Jada in the Red Table Talks and she's talking about the struggles that she's had in life, heavy drinking. She's a multimillionaire married to Will Smith, but life gets tough, right? But I was willing to undo and let go and relax. And that's difficult for Black women to do. Right? They want to control everything. That's why Black women are always like, you always do this, and that, right? Because Black women are very controlling. Why they want to talk about something? I heard white men is controlling. Y'all controlling too. Y'all controlling too. That's why y'all make such a, decent pairing, What is he looking at? My husband popped up out of nowhere. Okay, I'm not controlling. Even my dog looked at me. My dog was like, "You're not." Yeah, I'm not because you're on the couch when I told you not to be, little girl. Not on the couch. Thank you. So, anyways, undo and let go of all those hiccups. I would, you know, when we started dating, he'd be like, "Oh, do you want to go here?" And something that I would usually be like, "No, hell no." I'd say, "Give it a try," you know. And so I would try new things, and there's so much fun in that, you know. Um, thank you, Tom Leach. I remember. Sorry, this damn dog. Anyways, so I found the process to be very natural to go from intimidating, right? I talked about this with Crystalline in the discussion that we had a while back, probably like a couple years ago, right? I trusted him, and so there's more femininity involved when you feel like you're with a man you can trust. What did I trust? I trusted at least when we went out to eat, this nigga had the check. I trusted that. Okay. And that's a nice feeling. That was a nice new feeling, right? Because he told me, I got this. Like, stop reaching in your pocket no more. You're going to be my woman. I'm taking care of it. Those are literally the words he said to me. You know what I'm saying? So, um, So when you vet well, then you can trust more and you can let your guard down and you can find your more authentic self. And he's going to be falling in love with you. You're going to be falling in love with you. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a beautiful fucking process. It really is. But that's not something that you can just willy-nilly give, so you have to vet. And vetting doesn't mean just being like, how much does he make? Because you have to look at things, look at the bigger picture. Okay. You have to look at how old you are. You have to look at, educational accomplishments, things that he's actually accomplished. I see a lot of women being like, he's gonna do this, and he said he's gonna do that. I'm like, but what has he done? What has he done now up to this point? You can't. I can't make potential out of nothing. That's your mama job. That's your mama job to believe you're gonna do something out of nothing. That's not my job, right? Because no man is doing that for any woman, right? If you don't look the way he wants you to look, he's not sitting there telling himself, maybe she'll transform into a totally different looking person, right? That's not what Azan told Nicole, right? What did he say? He's like, I'm 46% attracted to you, right? I mean, you got it or you don't. When it comes to men, you either got what they're looking for or you don't. So you also have to, in your vetting process, understand the type of man that you're with and what he wants. If he likes women with long hair and your hair is short, or your hair is long and you're thinking of cutting your hair, you know what I'm saying? Like, he should be able to get what he wants too. That's understandable, right? So look at what he's got going on. Buzz Hawk, are you a guy? I'm assuming you're a guy. 50-50, no. I mean, I did a video years ago. That's what I said. People talking about shit now that I talked about years ago. I've been said 50-50 is a no. That's a no. No. And I've went out with guys and it was 50-50. And guess what? I couldn't do it. I couldn't do when they called me back. I couldn't do date 2 because I already know what you're going to do. You're going to take me to some cheap ass fucking diner and expect me to pay 50% of that. You can't pay the whole bill at a fucking diner. Then we'd have nothing else to discuss. We have nothing else to discuss. That'd be like if I met you at the diner and I was wearing sweats, right? And you'd be like, the hell? Like, this is your idea of going out to meet someone? Like, this is how you present yourself? We have nothing left to discuss, right? It's above me. You want to take me to a diner, expect me to pay 50-50? It's above me now. I can't do anything with it. I know, Sam. Let me tell you something. I've said it before. I've gone to like fast food places like by myself, and I've literally gone and I didn't have any money. I've like gone to like the grocery store and like did my whole shopping. It was like and I was like, and I literally, because I don't usually carry my wallet because I'm with my husband. And then I just kind of expected him to be there. And I expected, like, I remember I went to like McDonald's with my sister, my younger sister, several years ago. And we got to the window and she's looking at me because I ordered something. I'm looking at her. I was like, who's gonna pay? Like, you know, again, when because I let my husband know where you're coming from, you got it. Where I'm coming from, the way my bank account's set up, I ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to do the things that you're used to doing, I'm not gonna pay half because I don't have half the money to be even doing that type of shit. I don't. And I was younger. I don't know how old people are here, but I've always been very clear about what I'm willing to do and where I'm coming from. Like I said, I've always been very clear about that. Because like I said, I've gone to predominantly white institutions my whole life, so I've met a lot of people from different races and backgrounds, ethnicities, socioeconomic levels that are not coming from where I'm coming from. So I've always been very transparent on, this is why I don't have extra money to give, to tip the, the waiter's waiter and what I'm saying? Like, this is why I can't go here. And this is why, I'm late with rent, you know. Um, I've always had to be transparent about it. Like, you can't fake having money. That's why reparations is so important. You can't fake having wealth or resources. Not even just wealth, just basic resources. You can't fake it. So you have to be honest when you don't have it. That's the position that America leaves its foster children to deal with. Feminists, feminist women love Eminem. Whatever. I'm not a feminist. I'm a very traditional kind of gal. I'm an actor, but acting is, it can be very feminine. So it doesn't. I like to do girly things. And if I'm gonna do girly things, that's why I have this fucking band-aid on, because I hurt my fucking hand boxing because I didn't have gloves, because I'm a germaphobe and I can't wear other people's gloves. Right? But the point is, I hurt myself. Okay. No, no, no. I like when guys do basically everything, That's why I love being around guys, because it's like, it's just like little worker, like worker ants, you feel like worker bees, and it's like, I need this, I need that. And guys get it done, right? Sorry, I got like itchy nose. I'm not on drugs. I'm not on drugs. I just have an itchy fucking nose right now. Okay. Um, yeah, like pumping my gas. Like, I never figured out like how to do it. I like when random, I like getting help pumping my gas. Of course, when I'm in Jersey, they pump the gas for you anyways. I like when I'm in a grocery store and I can't reach something and a guy gives it to me. That's the kind of help, without asking. Of course, doors opening, holding the door open for me. I love that shit. I love that shit, And if you want to pay for my whole meal, go right ahead. Get the hell out of here. You see what I'm saying? A lot of women with that mentality, and I've talked to my friends who are feminists, big feminists and shit. And you know, they come from more middle class, upper middle class background where they didn't want or they didn't need for anything, right? And they had a father, and I'm like I said, I'm very clear about my background, right? I came up, started, right? I'm saying from nothing, and I have a father. So I expect men to do shit for me if you're gonna be around me, because like I said, I can do bad all by myself. And that's the other part about vetting, right? And going from intimidating to Italy. You have to be willing to be alone. Like I said, I was 24 years old when I started dating my husband. 24. I didn't turn 16 and just start dating every guy that asked me out. And a lot of guys ask me out. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I never felt, I wasn't bitter or angry about it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of guys ask me out. Was it always the guy that I wanted to ask me out? No. Sometimes it was. But yeah, I've never felt bitterness about not being with a lot of guys. I just decided, if things have to be the way that I want, or I don't want them. It has to go the way I want, or I don't want it. I remember I told my husband, I was like, I was on a date with this guy, and he bought It was before I started dating my husband, and he came over to my place, and he ordered Domino's pizza. And I know I was young and broke at the time, but I remember thinking, who the hell do you think you are? Who the hell do you think you are? Buying Domino's pizza. We're in New York City. And you've ordered Domino's pizza? I knew nothing would come from that. Plus, I was like, are you stingy? Like, we're trying to get the best deal. Like, do you have coupons to eat from here? Weird, gross. Like, I was broke and hungry, and I didn't want that shit. I remember eating it and be like, oh, this is so lame. So I'm a foodie. Like I said, follow me on Instagram, Ma Anand Steele. Okay, on Instagram. I'm a foodie. And I like the best. And that's something that, like I said, I'm transparent. I've always been transparent about to anyone I'm around. And a lot of people will roll their eyes and, be like, how dare you have standards? Okay, well, you can keep it moving. That's why you don't have the shit that I have, because you don't have any standards. Good for you, right? My husband also has high standards. So, he's not like, oh, that's too much when I, expect a certain level or quality of things. But at the same time, I don't have designer, this and that. And, I'm not that kind of person. I just expect the basic, quality, right? Basic quality, that if you've gotten anything done of quality once, you know what quality is. And that's what I expect when I go out to eat, when I, go wherever. Okay. So anyways, point is 50-50 is lame. If you're a guy and you don't want to do 50-50, then don't hang out with women that are talking about 50-50, because usually if you're like, you don't believe in 50-50, if you believe a guy should pay for 100% of the bill, then you also believe that you should come to the date 100%, looking amazing, and you're bringing 100% from your side, right? And I wish I was a genius woman that could use my brain to make a lot of money, but I have to use it in other ways. But the point is, women like that, they're not interested in caring that you like a woman with long hair. Whereas a woman that doesn't want 50-50 would be like, oh, well, he wants a woman with long hair, so I'm going to keep my hair long because that matters to him. It matters to me. So just like women have to find you know, they're Tom Cruise or they're Justin Bieber. Men have to also determine, right? They can't just be like ask out every girl that looks nice. You have to also vet as a man and figure out, is this the kind of woman that, you know, I can be with? Which brings me to once again talking about how y'all not ready to date interracial. So I don't know why I keep asking about it. It's just so fucking weird, right? Because I feel like one thing that white people are not ready to do, and you can see this by the way that biracials talk about their experience being biracial with their white family members, right? White people in interracial relationships as a collective don't do enough for, you know, their black loved ones, family members, biracial loved ones, family members, etc. And so to me that implies you're not ready then to do this, right? I love Liz Warren. It's team Liz Warren right now. Abso-fucking-lutely. She's saying a lot of shit that I want to hear. And, you know, I believe her. And yeah, I'm excited for her. They're like real leather or synthetic leather. It don't matter to me. You know, whatever looks nice. That's all that matters. I don't know what dad means, L. Borker, but anyways, yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much the gist. You know, uh, I remember I was in Italy and I was wearing this beautiful dress that I got. It was actually just from some shop in America, but can you help me find your dad, nigga? Anyways, um, I was, you know, like on a yacht, you know, in Hawaii, and I was wearing this beautiful dress that I got from some shop in America. And but when I was wearing it, because it's so beautifully colored and stuff, a woman on the boat, you know, a rich white woman, she said, "Oh, beautiful dress. Where'd you get it from?" And I was like, "Oh, I think I got it in Positano last year." And she's like, "You're very well traveled." And I was like, quite, you know. Um, you know, I didn't demand to go to those places. Again, this is where I pat myself on the back for finding, also choosing a good partner, right? Who just also likes to do nice things, see beautiful places, and, you know, that's important. So a lot of y'all is just choosing a dude. He said he would do this or that, but like when he talks, it's clear he doesn't have any higher goals for himself. It's clear he's not thinking about traveling the world by what he's already done. Gotta watch what they do, not what they're telling you they're gonna do when they're kissing you in your ear, kissing you on your neck. Like, don't believe a damn word any man says at that point. Like, are you kidding me? That's so bizarre. Um, and I feel like you're getting most of the women are getting most of their information about what he said he was gonna do when like you're in the middle of love making or whatever. That's bizarre. You have to step back and look at this person as if you don't have a crush on them, you don't like them, you've never met them. Look at what they're actively doing and see if there's any potential from that. Not they ain't got shit going on, but they said they were going to do something. Okay, well, I'll see you after that next step. Get that done, and then we can talk. You know, you can't be like, I want to go to Italy. I better go to Italy to a dude who has no plans in his mind of going to Italy. You see what I'm saying? It's time to start chasing dudes with visions. El Borker, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah. I don't know how many times I have to repeat this, but find a dude that has vision for a future that he wants. Don't find a dude who's not doing shit, just told you he's going to do something, and keep bothering him about what you expect him to do. If it's not his vision for himself, it's not going to happen. Now, that guy might not look the way you want a guy to look, or might not, you know what I'm saying? But you have to give common vision a chance. When I met my husband, we both had a common vision to have a better life than the lives that we grew up having. It wasn't just my vision, and then I'm constantly bothering someone else to help me get there. You see what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it. What in the hell are you talking about, old Borker? Don't fall for the okie doke. Amen, Buzzhawk. Okay. Don't fall for the okie doke. I don't. Okay. My husband didn't have anything when I met him in terms of, how we do it now, right? But based on knowing him since I was 19, right? And seeing him accomplish things, seeing how accomplished he was, hearing his goals for the future, seeing the kind of man he was, I decided to give love a chance. And then I let down a lot of the guards and a lot of the walls that I had up and just joined on this journey and experience of love. And then it's real, and it's not this like fake weird thing that you have to feel like you are trying to manipulate into happening. You know what I'm saying? But that takes a lot of work, and you could be alone for a long time until you get there. All right. We're going to talk more. Thank you so much for joining me. Ask me more questions in the chat. I'm definitely going to come back within the week. Okay. So I'm going to find some way to make this normal, but definitely be prepared to see me every fucking week. Okay. Until next time. Manon Steele on Instagram, Danny Steele Actor on Instagram, and Danny Steele on Twitter. Like this video, share it with somebody. See you next time. Bye.